Hi, welcome to this PL/SQL tutorial. The topic is if statement. If statement in PL/SQL allows to execute or skip sequence of statements based on some condition. There are three types of if statements available in PL/SQL: if then statement, if then else statement, if then else if statement. This is the syntax of using if then statement. First, you need to provide if, then the condition, next the then, and after that those statements which you want to execute based on the condition, and lastly the end if to close the if then block. Here condition is a boolean expression which evaluates to true, false or null. If the condition evaluates to true, then the statements inside if block will execute. Here you can see the example of if then statement. I will explain all of the example at the practical overview section. This is the syntax of if then else statement. Here one extra else block is added to the syntax. If the condition in the if block is evaluating to true, then the statements inside if block will be executed and the statements inside else block will be skipped. If the condition is evaluating to false or null, then the statements inside else block will be executed and the statements inside if block will be skipped. Here you can see the example of if then else statement. This is the syntax of if then else if statement. Here, one more extra block, else if block is added to the syntax. In your logic, if you want to execute different code for different conditions, then you can use the if then else if statement. We can have more than one else if block in an if statement. Here, if the condition 1 is evaluating to false or null, then the condition 2 of the else if block will be evaluated next. If the condition 2 is also evaluating to false or null, then the condition of next else if block will be evaluated. If there is no next else if block present, then statements within else block will be executed. If there is no else block present, then the whole if statement will be skipped. Here you can see the example of if then else if statement. Few things to be noted. If block is required block in an if statement. Else if and else block are optional. One if statement can have one if block, one else block, and multiple else if block. Let's check the if then statement example practically. My purpose is to show a message on the screen based on a condition. Here you can see I've declared a variable age with the value 21. And in the execution section you can see the if then statement where the condition is age greater than equal 18. If the condition evaluates to true, then the statement inside this if block will execute. And the purpose of this statement is to print the message eligible on the screen. Here 21 is greater than 18. That's why this condition should evaluate to true, and that's why the statement inside the if block should execute. So let's execute the whole code. You can see the message eligible on the screen. I've changed the value of the age. To check if the condition evaluates to false, then what happens? Here you can see the value is 16. So the condition in the if then statement will evaluate to false. That's why this statement should be skipped. Okay, execute the whole code. You can see nothing is printed. Let's check the if then else statement example practically. Here in the declaration section, you can see I've declared the same variable age with the value 15. In the execution section, this is the if then else statement, and the condition is also same as previous, age greater than equal 18. If the condition evaluates to true, then the statement inside the if block will execute. If this condition evaluates to false, then the statement inside the else block will execute. Let's execute the whole code. You can see not eligible is printed on the screen. If I change the value of the age to something which is greater than 18, let's say it is 20, and if I execute the whole code again, you can see eligible is printed. Let's check the if then else if statement example practically. Here you can see I have declared the same age variable with the value 15. In the execution section, you can see the whole if then else if statement. In the if block, the condition is age less than 10. If this condition evaluates to true, then this statement will execute. If this condition evaluates to false, then the control goes to this else if block, and the condition in this else if block will be evaluated. If this condition evaluates to true, then this statement will execute. If this condition evaluates to false, then the control goes to this else if block. Same for this else if block, this condition will be evaluated. If this condition evaluates to true, then this statement will execute, else the control will go to this else block, and the statement inside the else block will execute. Let's execute the statement. You can see the value of age is 15, so our result should be teenager. You can see teenager is printed. Let's change the value to see different results are coming or not properly. Let's change the value of the age. Let's execute the code. You can see for 11 it is tween. Let's check for 20. You can see for 20 we are getting adult. That's it for the tutorial. If you learned something new, then like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And lastly, thanks for watching.